Hello, students. Welcome back to our geography session. Let us continue with our third lesson, tides. Before we proceed ahead, let us have a brief review of what we had studied in the last lecture. In the last lecture, we studied the topic tides. Now, what is the meaning of tides, children? Tides means the movement of the sea water. Next we studied was the centrifugal force and the gravitational force. Centrifugal force means the force that works away from the center, and gravitational force means the force that works towards the center of the earth. So today we shall study occurrence of tides, that means how the tides occur, and two main types of tides, that is the spring tide and the neap tide. Now let us go ahead. There are three main factors which are responsible for the tides to occur. First one, the gravitational pull of the moon and the sun as well as that of the earth. Second, revolution of the earth around the sun and the indirect revolution of the moon around the sun. Students, we had seen in the last lesson that the earth revolves around the sun and the moon indirectly revolves around the sun. Last point, centrifugal force generated due to the rotation of the earth. Now we all know that the earth rotates around itself, and while rotating it generates a centrifugal force, as we have seen earlier, and this centrifugal force works away from the center. The moon is closer to the earth than the sun. Hence, its gravitational force becomes more effective. That means it becomes more greater than that of the sun. Children, you can see this in the diagram here. Now, tides occur due to the relative positions of the moon, the sun, and the earth. So, we can see that all the three celestial bodies, that is the moon, the sun, and the earth, play a very important role for the tides to occur. Now let us see which places experience a high tide and a low tide. For example, if a place on the earth has a high tide, the place opposite to it will also experience a high tide. Similarly, if a place on the earth has a low tide, the place opposite to it will also experience a low tide. Now this is a result of the centrifugal force. Now children, just observe this diagram, and here we'll be able to understand the location of high and low tides on the earth. Let us see the diagram. Children, here we can see that when there is a high tide at 0 degree meridian, the 180 degree meridian, that is the opposite place, will also experience a high tide. The meridians that are at right angles, in those having high tide, will experience low tide at the same time. Now let us come to the next topic, types of tides. Children, we have seen that there is a variation in the timing of the tide. So as the timing of the tide varies every day, the range of a tide also keeps on changing. So generally, the highest high tide occurs on a full moon and a new moon day, whereas on the first quarter day and the third quarter day, the high tide is at its minimum. That means it is at the lowest level. Now there are two types of tides, spring tide and neap tides. Now let us start with the first tide, that is the spring tide. Children, you all know that on a new moon day and on a full moon day, all the celestial bodies, that is the sun, the moon, and the earth, are in a straight line. So when they are in a straight line, the gravitational force acts in one direction. That means here the force becomes stronger. So the spring tide means the highest tide, and it occurs on a new moon day and a full moon day. Now what about the water level? The water level during a spring tide is higher than the average high tide, and it is lower than the average low. Now let us proceed to the neap tide. Neap tide. The neap tide occurs on the first quarter and the third quarter days of each month. Now, when the moon revolves around the earth, the moon makes a right angle, that means 90-degree angle with the earth and the sun. Now, there are some places where the sun causes a high tide. That time, the gravitational pull of the moon, which is at right angle, also acts on the sea water. So, children, during a high tide, what happens? The water level rises, but here the rise is less than usual. Similarly, during a low tide, there is a fall in the water level, but here again the fall is less than usual. So, neap tides are a little lower than the average high tides and a little higher than the average low tides. Now, let us proceed to the intertidal range. Do you know? That means this is for your extra knowledge, children. When normal water level will rise, it will be a high tide, and when normal water level will fall down, it will be a low tide. That means when there is a rise in water level, we have the high tide, and when there is a fall in the water level, we have a low tide. So, this difference that we can see is known as the intertidal range. In simple words, we can say that the difference between a high tide level and a low tide level is the intertidal range. Now, in the open seas, this range is 30 centimeter, and when it is along the coast, it is about 100 to 150 centimeters. Now, see this in the picture. This is the Bay of Fundy along the Atlantic coast of North America. This place is having the highest tidal range in the world. Here the range is 1600 centimeter. Similarly, we have the highest tidal range in India also. In India, the Gulf of Khambat is having the highest tidal range, that is 1100 centimeter. Now let us see what happens because of the tides, that is the effects of tides. Fishing activity can be done. So it helps the fishing activity. How? Because the fish move towards the creek. Creek means a narrow waterway. So it becomes easy for a fisherman to go for the fishing activity. This is the first effect. Second effect, the tides also clear the waste and hence the coast becomes clean. That means the water is thrown outside and this clears away the coast. Third effect, ports do not get filled with sediment. Now what are ports, children? Ports are the places where the ships halt, and sediment means the pebbles and the rock particles that are lying. Next now, ships can move up to the ports during a high tide. That means because of the high tide, the ships can easily move up to the ports. Next, during high tide, sea water can be stored in salt pans from which salt can be obtained. So you can see the salt pans, children, here in the picture. The sea water gets collected in these salt pans. They store the sea water in the salt pans. Because of the rays of the sun, the water gets evaporated and we can get the salt. So, next now, the tidal force can be used to generate electricity. Now, tidal force is the force of the water, the energy of the water. And because of this energy in water, that is because of this tidal force, we are able to generate electricity. That is, the hydroelectricity is because of the tides. Now, next point. A lack of an understanding of the timing of high and low tides may cause accidents to swimmers entering the sea. Now, swimmers, if they are going in water for swimming, they should have an understanding of a high tide and a low tide setting. If they don't know the timings of a high tide and a low tide, what may happen? It may cause accidents which will prove to be very dangerous. Next, the tides help in maintaining the mangroves and the coastal biodiversity. Now, mangrove means the trees. Their roots are above the water. So, these mangrove trees, they absorb the salt from the sea. That means the salt only is absorbed and not the water. and this helps to maintain the level. So children, I hope you all have understood the two types of tides and also the effects of tides. So we shall stop here, and for homework you have to read this part of the lesson that is taught today, and the next part we shall proceed in the next lecture. Thank you.